So today we are going to discuss about the topic GST. GST is our unit 4. Okay. Just I am going to give the introduction and just show you some examples how it is getting calculated. Then we will discuss about the various objectives and limitations and everything. Okay. I'm going to start with the example. The screen is visible. PPT.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, this is the earlier regime, that is during the time of VAT, how the tax has been calculated. This is how the tax has been calculated at the earlier stage. Uh, if suppose the cost of the product, that means the cost in the sense how much is the money incurred for manufacturing a product. It includes raw materials price and labor cost and for packaging from the manager's manufacturer side, the basic first level packaging, everything, right? Various factors we have studied actually. So அந்த ஒரு cost of a product அப்படின்றது எதெல்லாம் include பண்ணணுமோ it consists of both the fixed cost and also the variable cost. Fixed cost in the sense like electricity and rent, everything is a fixed. So every month we are going to pay the rent for the particular place. So these are the fixed costs. Variable cost in the sense raw materials, labor cost, and packaging materials. The amount spent for packaging materials and transportation cost are variable cost. It may change according to the economical situations and demand of particular factor. So at the first time, the manufacturer decides that and fixes that the cost of the price is 1000 rupees. The cost of a product is 1000 rupees. ஒரு ப்ராடக்டோட ப்ரைஸ் வந்து 1000 rupees சொல்லி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லெவல்ல ஃபிக்ஸ் பண்றாரு. ஸோ ஹி இஸ் ஆடிங் 10% of tax rate. Just for example, I have given 10%. Okay. ஸோ 10% வந்து வேட் அப்படின்னா அந்த 10% என்ன பண்றாங்க, அதை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம், ஆட் பண்றோம். ஸோ ஃப்ரம் 1000, 10% is 100 rupees, right? So the invoice, in the invoice I am mentioning that the price of a product is 1100. Then it is moving to the warehouse. Warehouseல அதை ரீபேக்கிங் பண்றதுக்கும் லேபிளிங் பண்றதுக்கும் எவ்வளோ சார்ஜஸ் பண்றாங்க, 300 rupees they are charging. So the 300 they are adding to the 1100. Already in the invoice the price is 1100. So the 300 is also adding to the 1100. So now the cost of the product is 1400. Again, in the warehouse, while moving on to the retailer, they are charging 10% of tax rate. So it is 10% from 1400, it is 140. So now the invoice total is 1540. 1400 plus 140, 1540. So from the warehouse, now it reaches the retailer. The retailer adds the advertisement cost of rupees 500. So 1540 plus 500, it is 2040. Again, from the 2040, the 10% is VAT. So 204. So now the invoice cost or invoice total of a product is 2244. Actual money spent for the product, that is 1000 rupees the manufacturer has spent, and 300 for labeling and repacking, and 500 for advertisement, so 1800. But that apart from 1800, 444 is tax money. This is the old regime or earlier regime. This is how we have calculated. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is current calculation after the GST has been arrived. The same product, the manufacturer is saying that the cost of a product is 1000, 10% of tax, so it is 1100, right? Again, in the warehouse for labeling and repacking, they have added 300, but here the 300 has been added to the cost. It is not to the invoice total. Invoice totalல ஏற்கனவே 100 rupees tax என்ன ஆயிருக்கு, ஆட் ஆயிருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த அமௌண்ட்டோட நம்ம என்ன பண்ணல, 300 ஆட் பண்ணல. Is it clear? The 300 has been added to the cost of the product which was mentioned by the manufacturer. The 300 haven't added to the invoice total. The old regime we have added the 300 to the invoice total, but now it is not like that. அப்ப இங்கவே என்ன, இங்க நமக்கு என்ன கிடைக்குது, ஒரு 100 rupees difference கிடைக்குதா?
Yes, ma'am.
So again from 1300 the 10% has been calculated, and the 10% எந்த அமௌண்ட்ல இருந்து calculate பண்றாங்க? Any
Ma'am,
idea?
300.
The 10% has been calculated only for ten percentage அப்படின்றது எவ்வளோ, ஐ மீன் எந்த அமௌண்ட்ல இருந்து கால்குலேட் பண்றாங்க? இட் இஸ் ஃபார் 1300 ஆர் ஃபார் 300?
1300, ma'am.
No, the 10% has been calculated for 300. Tax liability to be deposited இருக்கா ஒரு காலம்?
Yes, ma'am.
அதாவது வேர்ஹவுஸ்ல பேக்கேஜிங் ஆகிற டைம்ல அதோட டோட்டல் டாக்ஸ் வந்து 130. ஆனா அந்த 130ல ஆல்ரெடி மேனுஃபேக்சரர் என்ன பண்ணிட்டாரு, 100 rupees பே பண்ணிட்டாரு ஜிஎஸ்டி. ஓகேவா? அப்ப பேலன்ஸ் இருக்க 30 rupees மட்டும் தான் என்ன பண்ணணும், டாக்ஸ் லயபிலிட்டி பே பண்ணணும். Again it is moving on to the retailer. He is spending some 500 for advertisement, so now the cost of the product is 1800. Is it clear, ma'am? So 1800 க்கு நான் 10% சார்ஜ் பண்றேன். Actually it is 180, but அந்த 180ல ஆல்ரெடி எவ்வளவு அமௌண்ட் பே பண்ணியாச்சு?
130.
130 has been paid. So only 50 rupees have to be deposited as tax. இங்க cost of the product same தான். Finally the cost of the product is 1800. 1000 plus 300 plus 500 is 1800. But the tax is only 180. It is not 444 as like here. So now when a customer buys this product, he only need to pay 1980, not 2244. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the difference between the old tax method and the current GST method. Okay, I don't know how many business persons are here. I know many of you are and your parents are doing businesses, right? But we have to accept this. When the old tax method has been followed, many business people earn much profit, and after the GST came, many of them was against the GST concept. We all know that. When the first time it has been introduced, many of the business persons and public has been opposed it, because with the help of the old tax system, they have earned so much of profit, but now they could not able to that much. So that's the reason many of them were against GST concept. Sometimes the reality will be very hard to accept it, but this is the truth actually. So under GST, what are the things are considered as business? GST பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் business அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்னா, it is any activity carried out by a person. We are not worrying about whether there is a volume of products or there is a frequency. That means they are doing the business regularly or not. Frequency in the sense, I'm a business person who is doing business regularly. Even I am also a, that is also a business. If suppose in a year only one time I have sold the product, that is also a business. So the frequency doesn't matter here, the volume doesn't matter here, continuity or regularity doesn't matter here. But if any activity carried out by a person by way of selling, I am giving a product, you are giving cash to me, that is an activity, business activity, that are considered as business. Even a single transaction of supply is considered as a business. Sometimes it may be a one time trade or occasional trade. Occasional trade in the sense, some products we will sell only at the time of seasonal manufacturing or seasonal production, right? So occasional நீ trade பண்ணா கூட that is also considered as business. For example, the farmer are selling mangoes during the time of summer. So other seasons they could not able to produce mangoes, right? They could not able to sell it. So, but at the time of summer alone, every year they are selling. That is also considered as business. And sometimes the second example is illegal, but anyway, that is also considered as business. Mr. Yes find a piece of jewelry on the road and sells it to Mr. Y for a profit. So just it is a one-time trade. He found the product, so he could able to take it and sell it. If suppose he could not find the product, he could not able to sell it, right? Even though the activity is illegal, according to GST, it is a business. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So GST is known as goods and services tax. It is not only for goods, it is not only for services, it is for both. And it is an indirect tax which replaces many indirect taxes in India, excise duty, VAT, services tax. So இப்போ அந்த taxesக்கு பதிலா நம்ம காமனா ஒரே ஒரு tax தான் யூஸ் பண்றோம், GST. Okay. One tax, one country is the concept what the GST gives us, and it was passed in the Parliament on 29th March 2017 and came into effect on 1st July 2017. So, if suppose MCQs they have mentioned that on what day it was passed in the Parliament, you have to write 29th March 2017, and when it came to effect on in the is the question means you have to write 1st July 2017, and we are calling GST as a comprehensive multi-stage and destination-based tax. And this is levied on every value addition, because at every stage we are calculating some percentage and we are reducing it from the already paid tax, right? ஒவ்வொரு ஸ்டேஜும் நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம், ஜிஎஸ்டி கால்குலேட் பண்றோம். அதுல ஆல்ரெடி பே பண்ணிருக்க டாக்ஸ் மணியை நம்ம ரெடியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு பேலன்ஸ் இருக்கிறத மட்டும் தான் பே பண்றோம். And GST is single domestic indirect tax law for the entire country. It is applying all over the country. Okay. இப்போ நான் ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் உங்களுக்கு காட்டினா இல்லையா, எக்ஸாம்பிள் காட்டினா இல்லையா, அதோட பிக்சருக்காக தான் சிம்பிளாக நான் அதை போட்டிருக்கேன். நத்திங் நியூ இன் இட். ஸோ ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து ஃப்ரம் raw material to the finished product, every time the tax has been added. Why we are calling this as a destination based concept is, if suppose a goods is manufactured in Maharashtra and the final consumer who is purchasing the product is in Karnataka, since the goods is the taxes are levied at the point of consumption, the entire tax revenue will go to the Karnataka state. எந்த country வந்து எந்த state வந்து ஃபைனலா அதை பர்ச்சேஸ் பண்றாங்களோ, டெஸ்டினேஷன் பேஸ்ட், அதோட டெஸ்டினி கடைசியா அது எந்த இடத்துக்கு ரீச் பண்ணுதோ அந்த ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு தான் என்ன போகும், அதோட ஓவரால் கன்சம்ஷன் ஓவரால் டேக்ஸ் ரெவன்யூ வந்து போகும். ஓகேவா? அது மேனுஃபேக்சர் பண்ண பிளேஸ் வந்து மகாராஷ்டிராவா இருந்தாலும், இப்போ மகாராஷ்டிரால இருந்து ஒருத்தர் வந்து கர்நாடகால ஆர்டர் பண்ணி அந்த ப்ராடக்டை வாங்குறாரு அப்படின்னா, ஃபைனலி டு whom it reaches, the particular place and the particular state will earn the tax revenue. Okay. So again we are having three components. CGST, it is collected by the central government on an intra-state sale. Okay, for suppose within a state when a transaction nadakudhu appadina, that we are calling it as intra-state sale, that is collected for GST, and state government for intra-state sale. State government வந்து some 6%, 12% ன்னு சொல்லி GST போறத SGST அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். That is also transaction happening within particular state. So அதுவும் intrastate sale and interstate sale. ஒரு ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு transaction நடக்குது அப்படின்னா we are collecting IGST. Okay, integrated GST, we are saying this integrated GST. Is it clear? இது வரைக்கும் சொன்ன கான்செப்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே புரிஞ்சுதா?
Yes, ma'am.
Here there is an example components of CST. மொத்தம் 3 components பார்த்திருக்கோம். CGST, SGST and IGST. CGST is a central goods and services tax. SGST is a state goods and services tax. IGST is integrated goods and services tax. Here is a simple example. We are assuming that a dealer is in Gujarat and he is going to sold the product to a dealer is in Punjab. The worth of the product is rupees 50,000. As it is, the product is moving from one state to another state, the total IGST is 18%. Tax rate is 18% for the particular product. It is moving from one state to another, so we are employing our levied IGST, integrated GST. So from the 50,000 rupees, 18% is GST, so 9,000 is IGST. ஓகேவா? ஒரு ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து இன்னொரு ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு நம்ம ப்ராடக்ட்டை சேல் பண்றதுனால we are levied IGST, integrated GST levied பண்றோம். 18% is the tax rate, so 9,000 is the IGST that have to be paid by the particular person or dealer. Okay, if suppose the same goods is sold by dealer A to dealer B who is in Gujarat itself, within a state, Gujarat குள்ளேயே அவர் வந்து இன்னொரு டீலர் கிட்ட சேல் பண்றாரு அப்படின்னா within a state sales நடக்குது அப்படின்னா, so here we are going to apply CGST and SGST. The total GST rate is 12%, 6% CGST, central GST, and 6% is state GST. So out of 50,000, total 12% is 6,000. That is 3,000 will go to the central government and 3,000 will go to the particular state government. If suppose the sale is happened within the state. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, இன்னைக்கு just introduction போதும். Just I am reading out the present is, please make a note of it.